Well, folks, Donald Trump is spiraling out of control as his Iran peace deal or ceasefire, whatever he is calling it, completely falls apart in real time. He is now posting about our allies, attacking the entire world on social media, relentlessly going after them for some reasons, blaming them for what took place with the war in Iran, as opposed to himself and his administration, which actually launched the war. But I digress. So I want to show you this new statement he put out attacking NATO along with the NATO Secretary General who met with Donald Trump yesterday, had some words about the meeting. We'll talk about all that and more. Before I get into it, please make sure to subscribe down below. It helps support Gen Z media in pushing back against Donald Trump. Drop a like on video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. And without further ado, let's start with this new statement that Donald Trump put out last night, which include that the war with Iran is likely to start up again, and he was angry, posting in the middle of the night once more at 11:46 p.m. So almost at midnight. Donald Trump said all US ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecutions and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. He really does love run of sentence. That was an incredible long sentence, I degrees. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen it. The shooting starts. Donald Trump says it was agreed a long time ago, and despite all the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons at the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up, resting, and looking forward actually to its next conquest. That does not sound like a man who is pursuing peace. He's talking about his next conquest, looking forward to whatever that might be. I imagine he's, thinking about Cuba in this statement. But looks like Donald Trump is eager to get back into the fighting, eager to get back into the war with Iran. And this is the statement he put out last night attacking NATO, attacking our allies for no reason at all. He said, quote, NATO was not there when we need them, and they won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly piece of ice, signed President DZT. And what he means by this statement is that many NATO countries did not back up this war against Iran, which is not their obligation. NATO is a defense agreement, not an offensive agreement. So if Donald Trump decides to bomb Iran in the middle of the night, these NATO countries are not obligated by any part of this treaty to join that. And why would like the United Kingdom, for example, send their young men and women to die in Iran just because Donald Trump did? I mean, Iran did not attack the United States. That would be a different story. But we attacked them. And so I am exactly sure why Donald Trump thought that all these NATO countries would just suddenly jump in despite Donald Trump not briefing them on this, not coordinating with them on this war, and just thought that he could drag them in. It is shameful how Donald Trump goes after our NATO allies when he is the cause of a lot of these problems. And maybe this leads Donald Trump to pulling out of NATO, which would be disastrous. And of course, he is still very hurt by Greenland because other NATO countries did not want to screw over another NATO country. But maybe Donald Trump is also upset by the fact that the leaders of different NATO countries put out a statement calling for an end to the Iran war, both from Iran's side and American side. They have France, Italy, Germany, United Kingdom, Canada, Romania, Denmark, Iceland, the Netherlands, Sweden, Slovakia, Greece, Spain, Norway, Finland, Japan, along with European Union, all in this statement saying, quote, we welcome the two ceasefire concluded between United States and Iran. And of course, that deal has already fallen apart. We thank Pakistan and all other partners involved for facilitating this important agreement. The goal must now be to negotiate a swift and lasting to end the war within the coming days. This only can be achieved through diplomatic means. We strongly encourage quick progressive towards a substantive negotiated settlement. This will be a crucial to protect the civilian population of Iran and ensure security in the region. It can avert a severe global energy crisis. We support these diplomatic efforts to this end. We are in close contact with the United States and other partners. We call upon all sides to implement the ceasefire, including in Lebanon. That's really important. Our governments will contribute to ensuring freedom of navigating in the Strait of Hormuz, signed by the all different leaders in all these different countries. But this perhaps in the most important statement in this letter, which is, we want all sides to include Lebanon in the ceasefire. Donald Trump and Israel said that Lebanon is not part of the agreement. Iran said that Lebanon is. Iran said they will have the Strait of Hormuz closed until Lebanon is a part of the agreement. Donald Trump said they are not joining. And so all these different European countries, all these different NATO allies are saying get them into the agreement so we can end this war. And now the ball is in Donald Trump park. And perhaps that why he put out this statement attacking NATO. Who really knows? Who knows what's going on in the mind of Donald Trump? But on that meeting that Donald Trump had with the Secretary General of NATO, is the general, that is Mark Rutte, is playing the political game. And I honestly can't blame him. Donald Trump has threatened to leave NATO. He's attacking NATO on social media in all caps. And so what Mark Rutte did in the aftermath of this meeting is kissing the ring. Praise Donald Trump, say that he's great leader. He seek peace, but I think he's doing that with this intention of maintaining NATO, because the only way to get Donald Trump to actually listen to you or your side is through flattery. Our allies understand this, and also our enemies understand this. And so Mark Rutte was asked by Jacob Tapper yesterday. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the president is weighing pushing some NATO allies for not being helpful to the United States. And Mark Rutte kind of, dodged the question a little bit. Just watch.
For their own defense, so a stronger Europe and a stronger NATO.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the president is weighing punishing some NATO allies for not being helpful to the U.S. and Israel during the war. Quote, the proposal would involve moving U.S. troops out of NATO member countries deemed unhelpful to the Iran war effort and station them in countries that were more supportive of the U.S. military campaign. Did the president talk about that at all today?
Again, it was a very frank, it was a very open discussion. He clearly told me what he thought of what happened over the last couple of weeks.
Some countries specifically said, you can't use our bases, you can't even fly over our airspace. Spain, France.
Yeah, but listen, the large majority, including France, of European nations has been doing what they committed before they would do in a case like this. So Europe as a platform of power projection for the United States was in full play over the last 6 weeks. And yes, it is true, not all European nations lived up to those commitments, and I totally understand that he is disappointed about it.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
And I get it, like I know maybe some people at home take issue with him kind of speaking highly of Donald Trump, and it's annoying for me too. I think everybody can agree that he's annoying. Because we know the truth about Donald Trump, that he is not a peace president. He does not seek to strengthen NATO or global alliance or anything like that. But if he has to get on air and says this for NATO to be preserved, sure. You know what I mean. Sure, that's fine. I'm okay with it. IV NATO is so vital to global security, pushing back against our enemies. Donald Trump seems hell-bent on weakening the United States. And if through these 4 years we can somehow stay in NATO, and if that takes the NATO Secretary General saying things that are nice about Donald Trump publicly, fine. You know what I mean. Fine. We just need to stay in NATO. Jacob Tapper also asked, is the world safer today than it was before the war started? And Mark Rutte seemed, bite his tongue and says yes, it's because Trump is you. No, great, just watch.
And then you cannot negotiate any longer, and they have that power.
Is the world safer today than it was before the war was started?
Absolutely, because, and this is thanks to President Trump's leadership, degrading these capabilities is really very important for your and my safety here in the US, in Europe, in the Middle East.
Are you worried at all?
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if the world is safer now than we were before the war. and I don't think he believes it either. But again, preserve NATO goal number one. But again, preserve NATO goal number one. I mean, he is the Secretary General of NATO, of course. That's his goal number one. But he can't always deny the facts. So, for example, when he was asked, is the Strait of Hormuz open? He was kind of blunt, saying, I don't have the intelligence now at my fingertips to answer that. Kind of pushing back on the assertion from Trump and the administration that everything is great, the strait is open, trade is happening, when we all know that's not the truth. Watch.
We've gotten there.
So the Strait of Hormuz, obviously, that's been a real crisis for so many in Europe. I read that in Italy, they even have school by Zoom because of the gas crisis in Italy right now, almost as if it's COVID era, and other European countries have been hit hard. Are the Strait of Hormuz open, as far as you can tell?
Well, of course, we have to see over the next couple of days what happens.
But as of now, I mean.
I don't have the intelligence now at my fingertips to give you that answer, but I think over the next couple of days we will know, and it is absolutely true that for the Europeans, but also for the Asians, look at Japan, look at Korea, look at Australia, and other countries like Thailand and the Philippines, they get huge volumes in terms of their oil and gas, etc., through the Strait of Hormuz. So for them, it's crucial for Europeans.
Yeah.
And this is why Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, brought together this coalition, making sure that answering the questions what, where, and when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz, we can act collectively.
There you go. He also, in a separate part of the interview, was asked when Trump threatened to kill the entire civilization of Iran, did that bother you? He said, well, you know what I always says, when it comes to what leaders are saying, I'm not commenting on everything. What I want you to know is I support the president. So this was really just an exercise in, talking shots at Trump when he needed to, which is, I don't think the Strait of Hormuz is open. We will see. Or I am not going to comment on everything the president says. Very mild shots, but the main priority for Mark Rutte is keeping NATO open and allied because we have a madam in the Oval Office. So he's turning on the world. He's attacking the world. The world is trying to, make up for Donald Trump mistakes. Mark Rutte is trying to keep NATO together. All of these major problems that are happening around the world can be drawn back to Donald Trump. It all comes back to him, whether it be NATO weakening, our allies, trying to end this war so the United States does not get deeper involved or just the war begin with. It all comes back to Donald Trump. So anyway, I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe down below. Drop a like on video as well. Goes an incredible long way. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this madness, and I always say, I greatly appreciate you.